Okay, so we're gonna release the tension on this belt and get the belt off. You want to make sure your ratchet's stuck in there pretty good and keep the tension on. And pop your belt off. And then your belt is free. Okay. You gotta definitely watch, because if this slips out, you're gonna smash your hand into the fan, and or if it slips while you got your tension on this belt, you can get your fingers pinched and it doesn't feel too good. Okay, let me see where I can clip this thing. Alright, now we got to remove the two wires in the back. This bottom one here is a 3/8. I always wrap them in little electrical tape so they don't make contact with anything and you got a fireworks show on your hands. And this upper one here was a 1/2 inch. So you just want to make sure that you got the end of this covered. This wire is hot and it will throw sparks if it catches metal. Normally I'll just take a rubber glove and snip the fingers off and take the finger of the rubber glove and put it around here and put a zip tie on it, but I'm all out of rubber gloves today, so what would plan B? Alright, that should do it. Okay. Now, these bolts here are 5/8 and then the front bolts are 9/16. Don't ask me why the hell they give you two different size bolts, but they did. Okay, now the alternator is out of our way. And that's our water pump there. This bracket here may have to come out as well. So it looks like that's 2, 4, 6 bolts, and that'll pop out of the way. And then we can get on this water pump here. Okay, we got the bracket off there. There's our water pump. We gotta loosen up the hose clamps for that little hose there. Then in the front of the motor, gotta take out them 4 bolts on the pulley there. And then we can get, there's 4 bolts that go around this water pump. They're 5/8 bolts. And then the water pump's bolted free. Before we do that, get these 2 hoses here disconnected. And the bottom radiator hose right here. And then that'll all come out as one. Okay, we got the new water pump ready to go in. Put a little grease around these O-rings here so they don't tear going in. Got the nipple for the 1 water line, and then we had to put in 2 plugs, and this thing's ready to go back in. Your water pump may be different. You may have plugs elsewhere and different configuration, but same thing. Just put everything back the way it was on the original pump. All right. Okay, so we got the new water pump all bolted in. Everything's all hooked up. We got all the lines hooked up. The hose clamps tightened. Pulley back on there is all bolted up. That line in the back there, that one's kind of a pain, but we got that one all hooked up. Now we just got to put on this bracket, the alternator, this little bottom radiator hose here, fill it with coolant, and she's good to go. We're going to put on a new fan belt too while we got it all apart. The other one had a little tear in it, so before we have any trouble, just replace it and know we're good. And next step will be that bracket, and then the alternator, and we'll be in business. Okay, we got that bracket back on for the alternator. These 2 bolts go right into the water pump there, and then these just go into the block and they support the alternator and the water pump a little bit. Get the alternator back on this hose, and we're almost there. Well, we got her all back together, and coolant's all topped off, and she should be ready to go. We'll just keep an eye on the fluid because it may drop a little bit tomorrow as I'm running it. But she's all set.